Fee King Show. I am your host with the most, Fee King. Welcome back to the Fee King Show, and it goes down. It goes down every Friday, God willing, from 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 12 noon. And guess what? You can't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone. The Fee King Show will be live starting Mondays and Fridays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check in and chat with your girl. So off the gift, let's shout out our sponsors. Let's shout out those I am an ambassador for, which is Her Glow Candy Shop. Thank you so much for making beautiful accessories. Thank you so much for making beautiful earrings for women and men, whoever wants to wear them, women, men, and children. You can check her out at herglowcandyshop.com. She's always offering specials, discounts, bundles. So listen, I want your ear to be dripping with yummy, delicious candy all summer, fall, winter, spring. Yes, let's do this. And then I want to shout out my sister, Miss Beauty J'adore, for lacing me with this so cute summer top. I love it. I have the pants to match. I love this so much because it's easy and it's quick, and she made it, and I am grateful. This is the Fee King Show. It is all about who are you? What do you do? What's your why? How in the world are you keeping it all together or not? Who am I? I am a woman. I'm a sister. I'm an auntie. I'm a pet parent. I am a cousin. I am a daughter. I am a lover of all things positive. What do I do? Child, what don't I do? I help women over the age of 40 specifically, yet not exclusively, get from where they are to where it is they want to be along their health and wellness journey. Why? Because I love myself so much today that it only makes sense to love women and to love them where they are. How do I keep it all together? Well, it all depends on what time of the day you ask me or you catch me. My self-care modality is meditation, mindfulness meditation, transcendental meditation, running, exercising, reading, and praying. Oftentimes I will give y'all several books, right, of the things that I'm reading, but I'm just going to hit you with one today. And this one is a book that I've not delved too deep into because I'm reading other books, but at night I commit to reading just one page. And let me tell you, it's so in sync with this topic today. But before we get into that, one more announcement. Today is the last day that we are celebrating Sekou Wright's birthday month. Let's give it up to Sekou Wright. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Sekou Wright did it big, and let me tell you how he did it big. He did it big by inviting us to exercise every day. That means you still have time to get your workout in today. Do the best you can, but show up for yourself. For 30 days in a row, we exercise. I'm literally just leaving the gym. So if you see me looking like I'm spitzing a little bit, that means sweating. I got my hot flash fan. I'm going to be okay. We're also pledging. Today's the last day to pledge per miles that Sekou ran. He will be posting today exactly how many miles he ran in 30 days. So what I'm doing, initially I started with, I'm going to pledge $2 per every mile, but I'm changing that. I'm going to do $3. What? Because we are wealthy. We are living in abundance. There's no such thing as lack, so I can afford it. Yes. Also, woo! I'm super excited because guess what happened around 2:00 this morning? Guess what happened? Your girl got her very own copy of his book downloaded to my Kindle app, Hack, Hack, Your Pain Now. And so you have one more day to get the pre-sale price. It's only $9.99. Hack Your Pain Now. And let me tell you, Sekou comes out the gate. The first page is going to blow your mind. And like I've been saying for a long time, if you live long enough, you too will get to experience some form of pain, whether it's emotional pain, mental pain, physical pain, all three, spiritual pain. And when I say you get to, it is going to be a blessing because it is going to transform your entire life if you lean into the pain and if you take heed to the tips and the principles. I want to show you the I want to show you the page. I want to show you the first page of Hack Your Pain Now. I'm hoping that that's going to come up. What's up? I see you out there on Facebook. What's up? I see you out there on the gram. This is the Fee King Show. It is the last day. Today is June 30th. It's the last day for us to exercise every day. Pledge a dollar amount or just make one-time donation. Sekou Writes website is www. It's going to show up on the bottom of the screen. It's going to show up. I'm going to post it. SEKOU Writes, WRITES, like to write.com. Get the book. Download the book. You can download it onto your Kindle for $9.99. That's the pre-sale price. So the price is going to go up as of tomorrow. And I just want to share with you a short excerpt from the front page of his book. The book is Hack Your Pain Now. Introduction. It's actually the introduction. He writes, I tried to kill myself in December of 2019. Up until then, I'd assumed that suicidal thoughts would be deafening, the emotional equivalent of a nuclear missile strike or the ominous wall of a tornado siren. I was shocked to discover that, at least for me, the invitation to death was soft, gentle, and comforting. I'm going to stop there because this is really challenging for me. And I know it's going to be challenging for people who know Sekou, whether you're family, friends, college mates, co-workers, colleagues. And if you're someone who's experienced a pain so deep and so maybe debilitating that it makes you think about taking your own life. And so I lovingly encourage and invite you to go on this ride with him as he shares his vulnerability and him being transparent. And so again, the book is on sale. Get it, Hack Your Pain Now. Follow him on IG, Hack, HACK, Your Pain Now. I know y'all like, this girl goes hard for Sekou Writes. I always have. Sekou and I have serious history. We've known each other over 20 years. And so, yes, I go hard for the people that I love, and I go hard for the people who I believe are here to positively impact, inspire, and encourage while empowering us to move through these various phases of life. And if you see me do this, it just means that I have the fan on and I have a cat and the cat hair is there anyway. So we're about to move into this thing. We're about to go into our first share hat game. And so for those of you who just might be tuning in to the Fee King Show for the very first time, hat game is me sharing my love of hats and me also sharing the power of manifestation. Because I've been asking ever since spring started. I was like, look, I have a bunch of hats, but they're winter hats. They're wool, they're heavy, they're hot. And your girl gets hot, right? And so I've been saying I need hats. And I didn't ask for hats. I just asked for people to share with me, where can I get some really dope hats? And I got blessed last week with a stack. Oh, I got to coin that. A stack of hats. Thank you. Sekou Writes. Somebody might want to get a picture of this one because your girl loves a good fedora. What? How's my fedora game? And I love that they fit perfectly. The book that I am reading right now that I want you to check out. You can actually check her out on IG. And I know that it's backwards on the platforms. I will read it to you. How to retire overseas. The light changed. That's interesting. Oh, because of the hat game. Oh, all right. We're back though. How to retire overseas. Because let me tell you, any and everything. Oh no, it's the book. Any and everything is possible. Any and everything is possible. I'm thoroughly enjoying this book. As you all know, maybe you don't because maybe you're new to the Fee King Show. If you like anything that you're hearing, that you're seeing, that you're feeling, if it resonates with you, I want you to share it. I want you to share it to your people right now on IG, Facebook, YouTube, StreamYard. I just want you to share it. Send out a mass text. put it in an e-blast, just do the thing. I also am an Uber driver. I love that I get to cultivate these stories. I love it. And I get to meet people that I would not ordinarily meet. So I'm leaving the house yesterday and I said, you know what? Let me just turn the app on en route to the gym. I was going to the gym. Turn the app on. I get a ride request. She lives literally around the corner. Like when I say literally, sometimes the app likes to take you all around the world. They like to give you the tour of Baltimore City, which the city is stunning. It's very charming. She lived right around the corner. She gets in the car and I want my DJ, roll that clip as I change my hat game. It's Uber Chronicles. I'm your local fitness go-to girl, Fee King, and I got my ears to these streets. I just dropped my passenger off. She actually happens to be my neighbor. Sometimes I often wonder, am I the only one who's wondering why are we not cohabitating together in a communal setting? That we need to get to communal living. Why are we not pulling our resources, our talents, and our time and our space together and sharing space? Why are so many of us willing to be on the struggle bus versus the us bus? Oh, what? The us bus. Imagine 3 or 4 families living under one roof. You can save, you can support one another with chores, with work responsibilities, with spiritual gifts. And I love that this young girl, who, by the way, I was telling her when I lived in LA, when I moved in LA in 1995, how much my rent was. She was like, that's the year I was born. I was like, don't get put out, okay? Don't get put out of this car. She gets out of the car. She says, no more running. No more running. Listen, I didn't hear about the air quality. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I had no idea. I don't know why I didn't smell it. I just didn't. I went on 2 runs this morning. So Sekou Wright has a saying, which is now is better than perfect. And oftentimes we want things to be perfect. We want them to look just perfect. And life is not perfect. And right now in this moment is better than perfect. Even though I'm on 3 platforms sharing these stories, it's perfect in this setting, right? This young lady, she set the tone. She set the tone for my day. This is Hack Your Pain Now. It's all good because now is better than perfect. And so we're having this conversation, and this young lady, I believe she's 26, and I just loved that at 26 years old, she got it. She lives around the corner from me. I live in Baltimore City, Charm City, USA. She lives in a 3-bedroom apartment. Her rent is $758. I was like, what? Let me say that again. Her rent is $758. I said, why? She starts explaining to me why. And she said the apartment basically is in her family. She said, so a family member lived here. They basically handed it down to me. And the caveat for her situation is they'll do major repairs. But if you need like your walls painted or maybe your rug cleaned or maybe pulled up because you want to expose the hardwood floors, they're not going to do that. And I was like, okay. She said, but anything major, they do it. And she told me that where she lives used to be a house. I'm like, it's a row of apartments. She said, I'm never leaving. I said, well, maybe, you'll keep it when you decide to buy. And so she said, you know what? Yeah, she said, but I don't understand why we're not like living together. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. I said, right? I remember I shared this with her. I moved out of my mother's house when I was 17. I had my own apartment and my own brand new car. So I'm paying rent, I'm paying a car note, I'm paying car insurance, I'm paying utilities, I'm buying groceries. I'm 17 because since the age of 12, I had been preparing for that moment. And I want my parents out here to hear this very, very carefully. I don't know about you, but I remember my mother talking to her girlfriends about, oh, I can't wait till these kids move out. Oh, I can't wait till these kids move out. And so subliminally, she was planting that seed of mama wants me to move out. Mama wants me to be independent, self-sufficient, get my own. But if we allow our children, A, to stay at home at least maybe through college or trade school, or maybe until they have saved enough money to buy their own home, then we set them up for success. We get to set them up for success. But can you imagine? I want you to imagine, y'all, there's so many people out here on the struggle bus. They may not admit it. They may not look like they're on the struggle bus, but they're on the struggle bus because egos are in the way. We're thinking, oh, I can't live in the same space with strangers or family members. We don't get along. But throughout your life, you're always going to encounter obstacles. You're always going to encounter opposition. But imagine if 3 or 4 or more families came together, had a conversation, and maybe some of these family members aren't family members, maybe they're strangers, and you talk about what your end goal is. Okay, here's a scenario. In 5 years, this is someone who attends this meeting. In 5 years, I want to own a whole block of row houses in Baltimore City. And then the other person says, in 5 years, I want to own a commercial building and I want my business to be downstairs. And I want to be able to provide fair market prices for rent for my friends, family members, anyone who is looking for a place to live. And what if you say, for 5 years, we're going to sacrifice and we're going to live in this monstrosity of a house, or maybe it's on property with small houses like cottages, and you have a communal kitchen where you share the responsibilities of cooking, where you have a communal bathroom, where you have maybe a communal living room where you watch movies together, not every night, right? Because we all get to have our own personal space. But imagine how much money you could save. Imagine how much more time you'd have to build your business, to spend time with your children, to spend time with your seniors, your elderly. Imagine having a built-in grandma or grandpa, right? Because all of us live together. And we're having this conversation, and I thought, I don't know the how. I don't know the how. I don't know the how. What I do know is that it's possible. It is so possible for people to come together in a way that they used to. And so people talk about, because she and I mentioned that Latinos do this. Where my Latinos at? Share with me if I'm on point with this. I know a lot of Spanish speaking people. I know a lot of Spanish people when I lived in LA and Houston and Florida. And so a lot of times when their family members come over, they support them in this way. They live together. Asian people live together, mainly because they're immigrants. And so they're coming to a country where they don't know either anyone except for their family, or they don't know anyone. So they move into a Spanish speaking community. Africans do it. Laurel has like a very large African population. Whenever I pick up African people, I ask them, so why Laurel? They're like, well, there's a large African community and basically we feel supported. But imagine if we supported one another in that way, how much further we could get. So I want to know in the chat if this makes sense to you. And if the opportunity was presented in a way that it makes sense to you, would you be on board? Right? So we're talking about communal living, not compound living. Compound living, the difference in compound living and communal living is communal living is where you have individual private spaces, whether it's a room, an apartment, a house, a cottage, a tiny house, a space, right? And you share the responsibilities of keeping things clean and orderly, cooking, repairs, and you buy in. So everyone has ownership of that land and those homes. Compound is where you have developers are more leaning into compound kind of environments or communities, if you will. Compound is where you have a plot of land and you have houses and you build a store, maybe a dry cleaners, but you don't necessarily have ownership in it. You're just, it's at a lesser price so that everyone can afford to live there, which is great. Like either one can work. But I'm thinking if you build together and you own, then you're building equity, right? And so after a certain amount of time, you still have this that you've invested in. You've invested sweat equity as well as monetarily you've invested it. But now you can take the money that you've saved and the credit that you've built and buy something else. And when she said that, I thought, I think I've got to knock on her door and become her friend. I'm going to knock on her door, become her friend. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Like Nelly said. I don't even remember the rap lyrics, but you get what I'm saying. And so I thought, you know what? If it were not for Uber, I would not be able to have these experiences and these conversations. And since I decided that I am now ready to buy, the universe has been expanding and opening up in the most interesting and unique ways. And let me tell you how. So I've been going through, I don't know, I'm just saying you might want to take a picture. You might want to take a picture of my hat game. Okay, I digress. I've been going through the process of learning how to become a first-time home buyer because I don't know anything about it. But let me tell you how powerful and how good God is. For some of you, I don't have to tell you. This is just a reminder because you're like, B King, I already know. I'm going through this program called Live Baltimore. I've done the trolley tour. I've done the workshops, 2 days of workshops. I've oh man, so many things that I didn't know to do with my business. So I have my LLC, I have my EIN number, I have my Duns and Bradstreet number. I have my first, what do you call it? A first Net 30 account with not Granger, but Uline. And so I'm doing all the things and it's all a process. You know, I have the business checking account, working on the bookkeeper, because there's certain things that have to be in place before you even qualify, before a lender can get a pre-approval for you. And so since I started doing that, I picked up a passenger who has a program here in Baltimore City. She's a Black woman. She's from Ghana. Her people are from Ghana. And she has this community that she's building specifically for artists and entrepreneurs, where they renovate the home and they make it more affordable. So these homes are going to be anywhere from $159,000 to $189,000. These are 2 and 3 bedroom homes. And then another passenger turned me on to Black Women Build. Black Women Build. Black Women Build. Look it up. Oh my goodness. What this sister, her name is Shelly, what she is doing here in Baltimore City is brave. It's innovative. It's timely. It is time. It is time. I picked up an Uber passenger. He works for HUD. Oh my goodness. And I want to share with you this very candid and real conversation that me and this Caucasian man had, because he's coming on the Fee King Show. I'm claiming it. I invited him. I am believing it because he's going to add so much value to the first-time home buyer. And by the way, you're always a first-time home buyer every 3 years. So fam, if you bought before, know that these conversations are going to be applicable to you. Every 3 years, you become a new first-time home buyer, even in the same city and state. And so what I shared with him was, I believe that home ownership is a class that ought to be taught in schools starting at the 5th grade level. Type it in the chat if you agree with me. It ought to be taught, because if your parents don't have experience, if your parents don't teach you, then sometimes the learning curve is super, super curvy and long. Sometimes you might not get this until you're my age. And so I asked him, I said, because you work for HUD, I said, I'm going to assume that you're a homeowner. He said, yes. I said, how did you know how to buy your first home? You want to know what he said? I need somebody to raise their hand right now and say, Fee King, I want to know what he said. Fee King, tell me what he said. Share the good news. I'll wait, but not very long. I'll wait. Okay, I'll tell you. He said, I had a good father. My father owned a lot of property, and he would take me, thank you, on IG. He said my father would take me with him to collect rent and to empty out the washer and dryer coin machine for the coins. He said, and this wasn't even his full-time job. He said, my father was a dairy farmer. He said, but he taught me everything he knew. He said, and so, yes, I've amassed a lot of property. And what I love about this man, his last name is Seltzer. Seltzer. Mark Seltzer, he's coming on the show. He's coming on the show. I feel confident he is coming on the show. Mark said to me, in 20 years of owning property and being a landlord, I've never had to evict anyone. Never. He said, not only that, he said, every year for the holidays, I give all of my tenants a turkey. He said, and let me tell you something, my tenants aren't credit score 800 people. I said, God, you are too good to me. Thank you. Thank you. It was at a time when I picked Mark up that I wasn't even going to work. Like I don't want to say I wasn't supposed to, because I don't believe in accidents, happens, chance, or coincidences, because obviously I was supposed to get this message and to get this knowledge. He said, my tenants are 500 score people. He said, and we work with them. He said, and I have a great relationship with every single one. He said, many of them I'm still friends with. As a matter of fact, 2 of them I've helped become homeowners. I was like, Mark, I think Mr. Seltzer, I must get you on the show. So I want to leave you with this. I want to leave you with, as we move forward in this new norm, I want to call it post-COVID-19 norm, post-COVID-19 norm, that we start thinking about the we as opposed to just the I. Start thinking about the we and the us. How can we do this? How can I involve and create a team and a tribe? Does that make sense? That makes sense to me. I think it's going to make sense to you all out there. And again, if you found any value in the Fee King Show, share it. I will be live Monday. I have a beautiful guest Monday coming to the Fee King Show. I cannot wait to share her with you and her message and her story. I am live Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am live Friday Eastern Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. This is the Fee King Show. There are 3 channels, 3 shows that I want you to follow that are bringing so much value to the world, so much value to the world. That is the Rev Melissa Show, SIP. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram. I am Rev, R-E-V, Melissa. Her show is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And you can follow and find the Be Your Own Hero show, Sekou Writes. He is on Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube. That's Sekou Writes on Facebook. Put page after that, Sekou Writes page. Sekou, Sekou. Such a great name, right? Such a great name. And then lastly, Ted Bogert. Ted, T-E-D, Bogert, B-O-G-E-R-T, B-O-G-E-R-T. And Sekou Writes is going to be on Ted's show today at 12:20 Eastern Standard Time. Check it out. Empower each other, inspire each other, love on each other, encourage one another, uplift one another. And I bid you an amazing, yummy, delicious, positive, productive, positive day, not just for today, not just for the weekend, not just for this week coming up, not just for the month or the year of 2023. I bid this for your entire life condition. I am Fee King. This is the Fee King Show, and I'm out. Mwah. Peace.